What's up, guys? My name's iirix. Today I'm going to be reviewing a card I really like a lot, but I do also enjoy, along with graveyard shenanigans, I enjoy making the opponent bleed slowly and winning that way. So you could say I'm a little bit biased towards this one, but I do enjoy the bleeding abilities and winning games that way. It's just fun for me. Watch him just grind it out. Just watch him suffer. Today's card is Accursed Witch. 3 and a black gets you a 4/2 human shaman. Spells your opponent's cast that target Accursed Witch costs 1 less to cast. So there's the downside, but no big deal. When it dies, return it to the battlefield transformed under your control attached to target opponent. The flip side is enchant a player. Spells you cast that target enchanted player cost 1 less to cast. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, that player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I like this card a lot because, as I said, I enjoy the bleed effects on cards, make an opponent slowly die and just watch, and that's like as close to control as I ever want to get, is just those bleed effects and then lock them down from, being able to either gain life, get rid of those threats, mediocre threats. They're not, I don't think threats is the right word for bleeding effects, but you know, stuff like that. And this one I like a lot. The only downside is that spells that target it cost 1 less to cast. But that's not even really a big deal because, yes, it has a 2 toughness, so you can burn it with Geist Blast if you're in draft, and it costs only 2 to do that instead of the 3 mana. But, I mean, seriously, that's not a huge downside, I think. And you kind of want it to die, because if it dies, then it goes over to the opponent, and then they start bleeding, and it's just funny, because, like, I don't even care that spells you cast targeting them cost 1 less. I don't care about that at all. If it was just a bleeding effect after it died, I'd still be perfectly fine with it. So it's kind of a tough one. Like, yeah, it's cheaper to kill. Yes, it has 2 toughness, but I would play that and have absolutely no fear of swinging wildly with it. And if it hits, that's 4. If they block it, they have to block it with small creatures, and they're not going to have small creatures forever, most likely. Some decks can, but most decks can't produce a lot of small creatures, like tokens. And so you're going to have to block with something bigger or take that 4, and then eventually it will die, and it will continue to hurt them, and I love it a lot. It's just a card that I really enjoy those kinds of abilities on, like I said before. Just kind of rambling about it now. For draft, I'm going to have to say I gave it a 3.5 because it's a pretty nice creature, and I would not hesitate to pick that, make that the very first pick of a draft, provided the rare is garbage, but I wouldn't mind that. That's near the top of my list of first pickable cards in the uncommon slot with Topplegeist and Uninvited Geist. There's just a few of them in there, and I really like the Accursed Witch for draft. Standard, I don't think it has the same kind of thing going for it. I mean, it still does the same stuff, but there's a lot more removal and all, and you could argue playing it in an enchantment deck, but I don't know of many enchantments like Sigil of the Empty Throne is the first one to come to mind. I think you have to cast your enchantment for it, so I mean, it fits a theme as far as the flip side, but I don't know if you want to do it or not. But yeah, it kind of fits in there with like Esper Starfield because it's enchantment, and then it makes him bleed, and you're not really hurting him a lot. So it does kind of have a home there, but I'm still just going to give it a 2.5 in standard. A modern a 2 because I really don't think anybody's playing the Orzhov bleeding effects. That's way too slow for modern. Maybe somebody is just for fun because they like it, but I really don't think that's modern competitive at all. EDH at 2, again, it's one of those things that you don't really see a lot of in a format like EDH because you've got 40 life and massive creatures you got to deal with. But I do like it for decks like Oloro or Karlov, things that get either they have a deck built around generating life over and over again, or generals that have the effect of getting something when you gain life. So I'd say it gets a 2 for one of those decks, but not many other decks in EDH. So that's what I have to say about Accursed Witch / Infectious Curse. If you have a different opinion, let me know down below. If you like, if you like what I have to say, subscribe to the channel. You get those future reviews, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all next time.